We are in the month of August, and yet the preparations for next year's Australian Open are well underway. The Australian Open Ballkids squad eligibility age is between 12 and 15. The training is rigorous, and only the best are selected. Approximately only 380 young people are chosen out of more than 2,500 to be a part of Australia's Grand Slam tournament as a Ballkids squad member. Joshua Galbraith, a supervisor of the Australian Open Ballkids squad and previously a ball boy himself, is with me in the studio. Joshua, how are you preparing your Australian Open Ballkids squad for the upcoming tournament in 2017? Are the expectations higher than they were in other years? Is there an expectation to perform year upon year?
Yeah, Jono, we've just started training with the main squad or returning kids from last year, as well as trials and training since the middle of March, basically, for the new kids for 2017. So plenty of work's gone in already, but there's still plenty of work to do. And yeah, for sure, there's certainly a higher expectation year upon year. The bar gets higher and higher, and the kids who come in brand new always exceed expectations at this point of the year. So for those kids who are coming back from last year, their bar certainly goes up another notch, and so does the new kids as well. So we look forward to bigger and better ball kids again in 2017, because they were certainly good in 2016, but another year, and it's going to be bigger and better.
Not a lot of people realise just how competitive the selection process is. As you mentioned, you actually need to be skilled in certain areas. It's not as easy as just rolling a ball and expecting to be a ball boy in the Australian Open, one of the most important Grand Slams on the tennis calendar. But having said that, what are the hardest components to teach to your students?
Yeah, we don't do 6 months of rolling practice, that's for sure. Probably, I'm going to say there's two components that are really, really difficult, and one of them is communication, because clearly on a tennis court you can't talk to anyone, especially when they're on the other side of the court. So the ability for kids to communicate non-verbally with one another and understand what each other's doing without having to talk, it's always a challenging aspect of the role. And it's something that can take a lot of time to learn and sort of master, I guess, for want of a better term. But through the training process and through match practices during November, December, it's certainly become sort of habit, and that's why they're the best in the world.
Joshua, take me back to when you started. What exactly attracted your interest in becoming a ball boy?
Yeah, Jono, certainly a few things that made me interested in becoming a ball boy. I had family who've done it in the past as well, and family who've been involved in tennis for a long time. And since I was sort of 4 or 5 years old, I'd been going every year to the Australian Open and loved it, and felt as though that it was something I really wanted to do, even though I wasn't actually playing tennis at the time. And from there, then once I sort of got into it, made some friends, got to experience the whole event, and I felt like it was something I really wanted to do for a long time. And this will be coming up on my 8th year as a employee at the Australian Open in a row, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon because I love it. But being out on court as a ball kid, there's nothing really much better than that. The adrenaline rush and the experience, it's something that most kids won't ever experience in their lives. And it's something that I'll never forget, and to this day, I'm so grateful for every opportunity I got.
You have been courtside with some of the world's best players. The 2013 final between Andy Murray and Novak Djokovic springs to mind. Does your adrenaline get a really big spike knowing that millions of people around the world are going to watch this historic event? How do you deal with all the hype and expectation? Like, what are your memories of that event in particular?
The experiences and the emotions, I guess, were sort of excitement and relief. They weren't necessarily nerves, because I got to the point where I realised that no one was going to be able to take it away from me, and no matter what happened, nothing was going to change the fact that I was out there for a men's singles final. Yeah, certainly the big players, obviously Novak and Andy, but there's certainly many more matches that spring to mind as ones that I'll remember forever. Players like Serena Williams, she's the best in the world and probably goes down as the greatest of all time. Rafael Nadal, the king of clay. Leighton Hewitt, one of the best Aussies in the last however many decades. So there's plenty of players and matches in particular just that stick in your memory forever. But that final, that certainly is front of mind. This tennis ball I've got here, this was a part of the 2013 men's singles final between Novak and Andy, and this is the cap that I wore on that night, the famous Legionnaires Ballkids cap. Number 88 I was in 2013. And, it's certainly, you can tell the sweat marks all over it. It's pretty gross, but that's all right. Something I'll certainly remember for a long time. And, this tennis ball was one of the handful of tennis balls used on the night. And that's certainly something I'll hold pretty close, and certainly won't be losing this one anytime soon, hopefully, because it's certainly a massive memento and memory for me that I got the opportunity to do something that most people could only ever dream of doing. It's a great experience from a tennis perspective, so any tennis players, but it's also a great experience, just a life experience that you learn so many life skills, like just managing yourself, organising yourself from day to day, keeping your well-being, all that kind of stuff. And then it's, in some ways, it's a full-time job for 3 weeks, that invaluable experience as a 12 to 15-year-old that no other kid will ever get. And you certainly make friends and memories that hopefully will last a lifetime, so I couldn't recommend it highly enough.
Thanks, Joshua, and good luck for the Australian Open 2017 preparations. I'm sure it will be great.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to this one, Jono. A few new initiatives and some new infrastructure around, and looking forward to another big tournament.